Hi, welcome to Web Analytics Lab 3, which is the Scrapy tutorial. In this tutorial, we will run an Amazon example to see how powerful Scrapy is. So to introduce Scrapy, it is a fast open source web crawling framework written in Python. To help you understand this tutorial, you will have you will need to have some prior knowledge. The first thing you will have to understand is Python class, especially class inheritance. And second, you will need to have a Python editor like PyCharm. Three, you will have to have some basic understanding of shell and Linux or Windows PowerShell commands. And last, you will have to understand XPath or CSS selector. So let's get started. To start, you can open your Anaconda prompt, and you can pip install Scrapy. And it basically takes a few minutes to install the package. So you will be patient. You will have to be patient. After you successfully done the installation, you have to make a new directory. You can use mkdir in Windows or Linux or whatever to make a new directory named whatever you want. In this case, I already made my own, so I just cd to that directory. And then I start a Scrapy project by typing this. It actually tells you that new Scrapy project named Amazon has been created, and you can go to the directory to check if it actually appears. And you can see that here's the Amazon file folder, and when you click into that folder, you will see a few py files has been created automatically. This is done by Scrapy, and it's an automatic process. And you can just click into those files to check if you want. So after you created the project, you can come to the next step, which is to create a spider. In this case, you have to cd to that folder. In this case, I cd to Amazon, and then create the spider by typing Scrapy gen spider Amazon. And you have to specify the domain. In this case, it's amazon.com. And here, Amazon is the name of your spider. And you can change the name of Amazon to other stuff if you want. So it says that cannot create a spider with the same name as your project, so you have to rename to somewhere else, something else. let's name it Amazon 1. Let's see. Yep, it says that created by the Amazon using template basic. Okay. After that, we can go to the directory to check if it actually creates the spider. You can see that it actually creates a spider named Amazon 1, like what we did previously. So let's click on to see. It actually gives actually has the Amazon 1 Python script actually has a few lines of code which already written for you. So it actually creates a class called Amazon Spider, inherited from the Scrapy Spider class, and then specify the name, the allowed domains, and your started URLs. In this case, we will not use this URL, but instead we will change it to something else, which we will later be added this. And next is a function called pass. This is used to pass your pass the HTML crawled from the web pages. At this point, it contains nothing. But next, we will come to fix all of the stuff to make it the complete spider. Now, let's check the web page we want to crawl. You can see here I have already changed the original domain to our target. Let's see. You can see that it actually Amazon product page, which is about Alexa. So basically, we want to crawl all of the product information on this page. So let's zoom in one by one. So let's say if you want to crawl the name, the price, the list price, and the picture, the image source, and at last the product description as a whole. What can we do, right? This is how Scrapy is powerful. It can you can write the spider and the Scrapy will perform all of the functions for you. The only thing you have to do is to fix the code provided by Scrapy. Let's see. So let's go back to Scrapy. Here, since we want to create, since we know that we have 4 different pieces of information we want to crawl, which is product title, list price, image, or product picture, and product description. There are 4 pieces of information we want to crawl. We will have to specify them in items. And you can see here, it actually Scrapy creates a class named Amazon item, and it was inherited from Scrapy item class, and also here Scrapy instructed that the default format for define those information is name equals to Scrapy.field. So we will do that. To save us some time, I will just directly copy and paste information. So in this case, we successfully defined 4 different tags or 4 different pieces of information. The first one is product name, and the second one is item price, and our third one is item picture. Last one is description. So after done all of these, we'll have to go back to the parse function to input all of those or to find the relative XPath of all of these 4 pieces of information. Let's go back to the web page. So we're still using inspect element, and we will. So the basic thing we will do is that we will check what's the XPath of all of these, and we will store it into that spider. Here you can see that it actually a span tag with ID product title. So and if you look at list price, you can see that it's actually a span tag with class named as this. And if you look at the picture, you can see that it actually has a class like this. So with all of this information, we can just directly type or input the relative path into that spider. I just copy and paste all of the code I wrote previously. You can see that here we actually refer to the items file we just edited, and we refer to the class, and here, right? So items is actually a container which you can store all of the script information or stats you from the web page. So it has a similar dictionary format, and it follows a format like response.xpath, the xpath you want to specify, and then the extract method. So all of these seem to follow some patterns, right? So you also want, if you want to process the information you extracted, you can do that by perform some string methods like what I did in this case. So to make your life easier, we can actually do something like this. So we can actually open the Scrapy shell, which Scrapy provides you. So Scrapy shell is an interactive environment for you to check if you have successfully get the information. So the first step, we fetch the web page. And then we copy and paste the code one by one into the Scrapy shell to see if we actually get the piece, that piece of information. You can see that we get something like this. So we'll go back to check. Right. It's called echo dot blah blah blah. Right. So let's now we test the second piece of information. If we copy and paste the second line of code into this prompt, we get 49.99 cents, and it's the same here. So if you also if you want to get the deal price, you can also change the ID to some to price block deal price. But you have to notice that not all of the products have deal price information. So if you specify deal price here, in most cases you won't get the price information. And next, we check the third piece of information. Now let's test the third line. You can see that it actually gives back a JPG, actually a web source, which is a JPG file, which means we have successfully get the information. And last, we can see that it actually prints out a paragraph, which if we go back to check on the web page, we can see that it actually are those paragraphs. So which means we have done all of the information searching. So after done all of these, since this is only for one page, and our goal is that we want to crawl those information for all of the products in this single Amazon page. So we will have to do something. We'll have to fix something more. So to save you guys some time, I will have to copy and paste the code. So I will explain here. Here, the XPath here is that when you look at this web page and when you zoom at this link, you will see the link is actually hidden inside of this A tag. So what we want to do is that we want a for loop to get all of those information. And since the link doesn't give you this part, we also want to add this part to before this link. So Scrapy actually provides you a method to done all of these, which is named as the URL join. So the first thing we want to do is that we want to pass the URL lists from that web page, and then we use the for loop to get those information. Here we also want to import the request function from Scrapy package. So the request function is used to request multiple pages, since in this case we have multiple products that we want to pass. So we will need that request to perform this function one by one. And it contains two different parameters. The first one is the URL, which in this case it will be different in every time when we repeat the loop, and the the callback is the callback function. So after all of these, we have done this part, and we save this. The last thing I want to mention is that you want to go to settings to fix some of the information. here, sometimes you will encounter the problem of blocking from the website. So it would be better to specify the user agent yourself. In this case, you will just name random stuff like my cool project. This protects your program or your IP from blocking by Amazon or other websites. So it can be pretty useful. And we save this. So we are ready to go. So before we execute the program, we want to make sure that all of the information are right. Otherwise, we will get an error, and it will be hard to recognize in a command prompt. So let me look at the. It seems to be right. Okay, so lastly, we use the command, line of command, Scrapy crawl Amazon 1. Here, Amazon 1 is the spider net of your own, and we output it to a CSV file. So here we want to specify the name of that CSV file. So after that, we execute this in the command prompt. So it normally takes less than 20 seconds to execute. And we can see that it actually gets some of the information, right? It actually prints out the information. So we will go back to the file. Yep, you can see that here's the information. And when we open up the CSV file, we can see that we actually get the information, but not fully, but just partially. Here we are missing 2. Yeah, we are missing. So it actually gives you a basic intuition of how to crawl web pages using Scrapy. So I will leave the work for you guys to fix those blanks in the CSV file. So thanks for watching.